Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hey everyone, Wednesday night here on Relics Radio. Good to see everyone tuning in to us tonight. Wow, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Just thought bring you guys along with us. We'll have a nice conversation. But first I need to bring in my co-host. 5280 Adventures, Tony. Hey man,
Wednesday. Good morning. Wednesday night. You, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Man, I am excited for tonight. Mostly because we've been having good weather in Colorado, and it just feels like everything's kicking off for 2025 for us here in Colorado, at least, to just start detecting and treasure hunting. And we have so much on our plate right now. The things that we've talked about and planned for, it's like, do we really get to go to work? Because we just have so many things to discuss, especially tonight.
If I didn't work, I'd be busy. You know what I mean?
I know, right? I know. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about metal detecting. We're going to talk about treasure hunting.
Yes.
Some pretty cool stuff with treasure hunting. And there's some other things that we just kind of want to generally talk about tonight. And I really think tonight's going to be a real interactive evening. The chat's just absolutely rocking right now. So I'm excited.
Matter of fact, I got a question. For people in the chat in a little bit. And we start talking about research and some of the research we've been doing and some of the techniques we've been applying. I'll ask a question a little bit later when we start talking about it. I'll need some help. I need some help from y'all. Come on, help me out here.
Help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. I got to throw it up there already. Are we not going to mention how Ken is now a Netflix star, a superstar?
Don't even look at me. Don't even look my way. Don't even look at me.
This guy right here.
Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. It's my 0.0003 seconds of fame.
What are you talking about? We are, you know what? We are going to talk about that tonight, as a matter of fact. So,
shit. Yeah.
Man, let's talk to the chat. Let's jump to the chat right now and see who we got joining us, because this is all about you guys. We've already got quite a few people here. And you're not going to believe this. Guess who's first in the chat tonight?
Look at that. Right on point.
I know.
Man, Tim.
Digger.
You beat
He was in early, too.
That's pretty good. Pretty good thing that you do there.
It's good to have Tim on. I know he's I think he's been kind of absent the last couple of weeks, or he checks in late and stuff. So good to see him on early for us.
Yep.
How about Mr. Bill Hayes?
Hello, Bill.
Howdy all. Metal Sharks with the 3 shark emojis there.
What's up, J-Man? J-Man, yeah. What's up?
Sweet. Metal Detect SD.
Hello. We're just getting ready to start that job back up on Monday in South Dakota, but I am not going yet. I'll probably be there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I was going to say, SD says, hey, Mr. Hayes, doesn't address us or anything like that. And then it comes back and says, good evening, Tony. So, we're good. I'm just kidding. Relic Jedi, hello to all. Relic Jedi starting to become a staple here every night or every Wednesday for us. Awesome. E-Tector.
I'm a big nerd.
Yeah, you are.
E-Tector.
We already mentioned Dave, but Full Metal Digger. Good evening, everyone.
Good to see you.
Let's see. Thin Blue Diggers. I made a post earlier today. Nick did he did some merch for a fishing company, and posted it over on Facebook. Hats, coasters. I mean, speaking of coasters, I've got my whiskey on it right now, but coasters, a whole bunch of stuff for this company, and posted on Facebook. And so I passed that along. If you guys need any merch, man, Nick's the guy to hook up. I mean, just reach out to him on Facebook.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah. Or go over to my Facebook on 5280 Adventures on Facebook and check it out, and then reach through him that way.
Mm-hmm.
How about Dirt Claude?
How are you? Good to see you. I see Dirt Claude on a lot of the live streams.
Yeah,
very active.
I do too. Yeah, very active. It's great. Thank you
you're
for
frozen.
the support.
Oh, there you go. You're unfroze.
Oh.
I thought you were screenshotting yourself.
PA Relic Hunters. Hello, all. Saw Lurker Troy went live on Instagram, I think, the other night.
Oh, yeah? No longer lurking, Troy?
No longer lurking. Out there and everything. Huh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Very cool.
Matt says, looks like tornado just dropped in my town in southern Illinois. We're good, though. All right. Said it was a small one.
It was, yeah.
That's no joke. That stuff's pretty crazy. Copper Joe joining us from up north. And let's see, a couple more here. We'll get started. East Idaho Digger. Good evening there, East Idaho Digger. EID. Ooh, that's a good one. EID.
Hello.
Hey.
EID. What's
Jim
up,
Still?
EID?
Jim Steele is a huge supporter. He actually won two giveaways that we've had, I think, this year, and Jim's won 2 of them already. So,
yeah, absolutely. Do you have an internet connections over there? Issues?
Is mine lagging?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh shoot!
You sound like a robot. You're freezing. I don't know if anybody else here. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm lagging.
I don't know. Mine seems fine. You're all right.
Your video's frozen right now.
Oh shoot!
You can hear your audio, but you got this.
Oh okay. We'll just keep going if you can hear audio.
Sure. Yeah, you're breaking up there too, kind of popping. I don't know. Is it just me? Can other people hear that? It's not distracting or anything.
No, great.
Who said something about tornadoes? Let's go back up there. Who talked about that? Matt?
Yeah, Ski Searcher.
Yeah, we my wife and I just watched, there's a documentary, I think on Netflix maybe, about the Joplin tornado in Joplin, Missouri, back from 2011. Man, that was devastating. I had, of course, knew about it because it was all over the news, but you watch this documentary and you're just like, oh my gosh, like how terrible. That was just terrible. So if you want to learn more about that and watch a good documentary that really puts it into perspective, that's definitely a good documentary for sure. Just look it up.
Let's kick off and start talking about metal detecting.
Yeah. We got out.
Actually,
finally did some metal detecting.
I do want to say this real quick. I don't know if anybody knows because I haven't really said much about this yet. But check that fancy gal out right there.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I'm just kidding. I posted it everywhere.
That's the secret weapon right there. The secret weapon.
I'll just tell you this real quick. I put it on and I went out on my lunch hour. On where I work at, we've got like an late 1800s, early 1900s home site. And I went out there on my lunch hour. I texted Ken when I went out there, and we've pounded this thing. Ken and I have been out there a couple times. We've taken other people out there. We've pounded it pretty hard. And there's just a lot of iron there. First target that I pulled was a Spencer casing. And about 30 minutes after that, I pulled a 1916 wheat penny. And immediately after that, I pulled an 1880s Indian head penny. That was it. After like an hour and a half, I was sold.
Hunted out.
Man.
Hunted out. Definitely hunted out about you. Went there and you nailed it. I couldn't believe you started sending me pictures. He's like, man. In that same area? My gosh. Yeah. Now they're saying I'm lagging. So yeah, maybe it is me. Okay.
I can hear you fine, so we'll keep going through it.
I'm just gonna spend the whole show like this. That way people won't know if I'm actually
don't move
or not.
So I love it. I absolutely love the M9. I've posted on a lot of Mind Lab sites. People are saying the 8 is great, but the 9 is kind of the combination of the 11 and the 8 together. So you're getting more depth with the 9, the separation of the 8, and you get the best of both worlds with both. I am saying I'm done. I actually texted Ken. I said, sorry, man. I'm going to have to destroy the D2 now.
Tim said he's had one of those on his dais ever since he bought it. He loves the 9-incher.
The 9-inch is good. It's good. Hey, want to mention real quick? X marks the spot.
X marks the spot. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Thanks,
good to
Mark.
see you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased. I can't wait to get back out. We've got some trips coming up here planned for us. And I think, you know what, to be honest, I think we need to go back to some sites that we've already been to so I can kill it over there too.
So you could rub my face in it.
I talk a big game. Come on.
We had a good time giving each other the business as soon as that came in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We went back and forth.
You and I went out a couple weeks ago and we did pretty well.
We did, man. We walked and we searched and we walked. It wasn't just like, hey, we door knocked that house right there and we knew exactly where we were going to go.
Right.
We had an old map.
There's a map dot.
Map dot.
We know how well those, 150-year-old maps look, in real life when you put them overlaid over the current maps. We know how that goes, right? Yeah. It's right. Exact.
So you go to the spot and I'm like, we're right here. We're right here. And we're looking around and there's nothing.
Say that.
We're right here.
We're right here.
We went too far now. Let's go back, And then all of a sudden Tony would be like, found it. He'd be way on the top of the hill. He'd be like, found it.
We're in the middle of the Colorado Plains, out in the middle of the plains. There's nothing. There's not a house for miles upon miles, probably a town for at least, 15 to 20 miles around. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And you're wandering around looking at the map dot and going, it's got to be here. And you wander another 100 yards and all of a sudden you hit a, 20 by 20 stretch of bottles, dinnerware,
springs, iron everywhere.
Yeah. Mattress springs. And we're like, I think this is it, guys. So
found it.
And it was not on the map dot, by the way.
Yeah. It was not.
We were in the right. I will say just because we were in the right state.
we were at least close to that.
That's right.
But it was fun. I mean, it's always right. It's really rewarding when you go on a trek like that. And because we've been on treks like that where we haven't found it, like we've wandered all over and go, man, this map must be wrong.
And we had 3 dots that we were trying to find. One of them you've already hunted. The other one was kind of across the street we were looking for. And then this other one was, almost a mile off of any road in the middle of a field. And we wandered. We were like, you know what? Let's just go. We want to find something maybe that's virgin that people haven't been digging at before. And we found it. We found a nice hole that was surrounded by a lot of good stuff.
Now that's interesting too, right? There was this huge divot, this huge hole that we couldn't see with the eye until we got right up on top of it. Mm-hmm. It was probably 15 feet in diameter.
Oh yeah.
And
big.
So we just started. Yeah, we thought, okay, trash pit. We saw all kinds of iron stuff.
Right.
Started going all around it. Wasn't getting anything, man. We were like, come on, stuff's got to be here. We went probably 30, 40 feet away from it. Kind of did the whole orbit around it and did all kinds of stuff. But man.
Some good stuff. Found some old buttons. You know what? I did want to mention everybody in the chat right now needs to congratulate Ken because Ken found a rare shotgun head stamp.
Yeah.
Tell us the story about that.
I don't know if I want to because just the other day you go, hey, I was looking through my pouch. I found the same exact one. And it's in much better shape than mine was.
I was going through my bag and I was pulling out the stuff. I'm like, do I keep some of this stuff? So I was looking at the head stamps. You tell them about it because you ID'd it first and you had it's a good story about where it went from there.
Yeah, shoot. I got to probably
people. You didn't have that up because I didn't tell you I was gonna.
No, I'm not going to show it. I just was. Okay. I need to be able to tell people what it is because they're all going to wonder what it is. So people might know. A couple people knew. Most people didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found this shotgun head stamp like we all do, and I started the search.
From the 12th, was it the 12th Georgia?
No, it was the 16th Georgia.
The 16th Georgia.
16th
Way
Georgia.
more rarer.
Right. So yeah, I found I found like 4 head stamps, and they all looked, there was like Winchesters and Peters and this stuff you always find. And I didn't recognize this, and it just looked odd. It was called an MFA company, Pointer shotgun head stamp, 16 gauge. So have you guys ever heard of MFA company, Pointer?
Yeah, we had a couple good guesses as to what it meant. Things that we probably can't say live on the podcast.
MFA.
The MFAs.
Yeah. Didn't you say Mutter Effers Anonymous or something like
yes.
that? Great manufacturer, the old number 16s. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, so here's the thing. I searched online, didn't see anything on it. Went to Cartridge Corner, because that's where you go.
Fantastic resource.
Yep.
Cartridge Corner. Yeah.
Couldn't find it.
Right.
Nowhere on Cartridge Corner. So I'm talking to other people. I'm putting it elsewhere. And man, MFA, M.F.A, CO on the bottom of the head stamp, Pointer at the top, and 16 on each side. Doesn't even say gauge, just says 16. So what I ended up doing is I ended up emailing the guy that runs this website, Cartridge Corner. I kind of gave him an email and said, hey, I'm trying to find information on this MFA. Do you happen to know what it is? And of course, I didn't think he'd even respond. You know what I mean? He immediately responds and says, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. It's MFA stands for Meriden Firearms Company in Meriden, Connecticut. And
of course.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Those guys. Yeah. And I go, wow, 1905 to 1918.
Wow.
That was sort of the age of that. And that's why we like researching those head stamps, right? Because it gives you some kind of age date. And even though you can be using them longer and all that stuff. Yeah. So go at the top. Wasn't that right there? MFA. That looks like it's it. But so anyways,
I can't find it. I don't know where's the place to search.
Go all the way to the bottom. That's just it. You can't search very much. I think it was all the way to the bottom. Let me see here. Yeah. So anyways, he sends me an image of his website and says, here it is. This might help you out.
Oh, there it is.
This might help you out. And I'm like, cool. And so yeah, he says, hey, by the way, I don't have an image of the number 16 of the 16 gauge. Would you mind if I used your image? And I said, no, not at all, man. You want me to take a better picture? Cause mine, it was hammered, right? Mine picture was it's a crappy shape. He goes, no, I can straighten it out with Photoshop. So he used this terrible picture of mine and he made that picture right there.
Yeah,
with
right
the
here.
With the black dot on it.
The
right
black
there.
dot. Yep.
And he said he gave me credit. I didn't think he would even give me credit, but he gave me credit for it. So yeah, black dot. He chose Ken King, photo from Ken King or something like that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I got something that made the Cartridge Corner. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Yeah,
It's
Liquor Choice says he throws shotgun shells away. Yeah, every now and then you're going to find one that's kind of cool or rare. And since I couldn't find it anywhere, I thought it was really rare, but it was just sort of rare. There's some, I guess,
it's definitely rare, but they had they shot at something twice out there because I found one as well.
Yeah, Tony, a little like number of days later, he's like, "Hey, man, I mean, let me show you this. Let me see. Share screen. I'm going to do that. Facebook. That one. Share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look how conditioned that was in, right? And he turned it into that other picture. I couldn't believe it. He cleaned it right up. But yours, now look at Tony's, man. There you go. Look at that's in such better condition. Look how sharp that is. Oh man, we should take a picture of that and send it to the guy. Like,
no, he did a great job.
Hey, that guy Ken King. Yeah, that guy didn't find anything, man. Here's one that the way you should look. You should
well, congrats to you. I mean, it's awesome, and you know, way to contribute kind of to the hobby and reference and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's awesome,
thanks, man. Yep.
Yeah.
It was fun. Anytime you can find something like that you either don't know what it is or, you know, you can't find immediate information on it. It's always intriguing, right? You're like, darn it, somebody's got to know.
Well, like you said, you know, most of the time, you know, right away, you know, oh, it's this, you know, you've seen them 100 times before. Well, this one was like, well, wait a minute, we've never seen this one. What does it mean? Yeah. You know, we've done the same thing with Spencer cartridges as well, with SAW or US on it, or, you know, a bunch of different things that are on the bottom, because normally they're just plain rimfire.
Yeah.
And if they have a stamp on them, you're like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And with that, then, like you said, we can kind of narrow it down as to, you know, that specific time period, and that helps really date the site, which fits what we were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good trip though. We found all kinds of cool things, and it seemed like, you know, when we were just orbiting that ring and started coming in tighter to the edge of that ring, a la stealth diggers, right?
Right.
They call it orbiting. Yeah. Tickling
on orbit.
Yeah. But when we got closer to the opening, it's when we slowed down, boy, things just started popping. Like, you must have stayed in that one spot for I don't know how long. You were in a 6x6 area for I don't know how long.
You found the spoon bowl right over there, and I was kind of off, and then you kind of moved on, and I went a little bit further towards you, and then I just hit a spot, man. A couple buttons. What other stuff? I don't remember now. I found a Rains guide. Really cool Rains guide, actually.
Yep.
It's actually pretty cool.
That's
broken.
Cool. Yeah,
broken. I don't, you know, they were riding side saddle with that one or something.
Look who jumped in. 505 Adventures.
Hey,
hope to see her pretty soon here in Colorado. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I found gold.
Yes, you did.
Did you want to let people know? I found gold.
We were going to pass over that. I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah. Yes, you found gold. You actually found a sweet piece of gold. Please tell them about that.
I found gold. Plated. Yeah, gold plated. Matter of fact, I still haven't cleaned that up. I still haven't put anything on it to clean it up more than this. But yeah, this is no gems I could find. But hey, I found a ring. A ring is a ring is a ring.
It's an old ring for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, the site that we found it on, and just the condition of it. And we've said it before, a lot of stuff out here in Colorado, we're not finding old valuable stuff. They didn't have it. These are the pioneers that came out here in, you know, the 1800s. They didn't have it. So, I mean, gold plated fits exactly what, you know, where we're at, you know, in the plains, Colorado, late 1800s. So too bad we didn't find the stones, because I kind of tried to pick up some of the dirt after we plucked it just to try and see if we could find some. I was looking for some red rubies. Oh man,
right.
Cool.
Yeah, I was looking on the inside trying to see if there was anything written. You know, of course, there was no junky ring like this, but yeah, man, you were sifting through that thing for sure.
We need to go back out now because I got the M9, so I can find all of the silver that we've missed.
I know a lot of people that follow my Facebook page probably seen all these posts, but you know, we talk about it on the show all the time. Yeah. But every time you find something, you got to do research, like that shotgun head stamp, right? I found this button, and I went searching over this button just to find out where it was from. And it just had the coolest story. Like, it led me to the company, and then I got to read all about the company and the lawsuit they were in the 1940s eventually. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Here, let me show you that. Bring that up here. Remember that button?
I do. It's got a great story.
Yeah.
And you were kind of like alluding to what you thought it looked, you know, this article of clothing that it was on look like.
Yeah.
And I think you're dead on with it. I absolutely think you're dead on. So tell us about this one.
This is Towers, wire fastened, it says on it. It's got the big wire fastened. Those of you who saw my Facebook page post, you probably know what that's a part of, but here's what it's from. Towers Company, AJ Towers Company made these slickers.
There it is.
These slickers, and these slickers had these kind of buttons on them right there. So, I mean, can you imagine one of these pioneers coming through in his wagon heading west? He's got his cowboy hat on. He's got this slicker on. He's soaking wet. And he's got one of these buttons that's on there and stuff.
It's just oiled canvas.
Oiled canvas. That's all.
Right. Right. But it kept you dry.
It did.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing, right? This is an ad I found that said they also had Fish brand, waterproof oiled clothing, slickers, pommel slickers, and hats. Okay.
So cool.
Now here's what it says. Following our successes at Philadelphia, Chicago, and other expositions. So the Philadelphia exposition was in 1876.
Right.
It was the 100-year exposition. It's where I found that other piece that watch back. Chicago, I think, was like in 1906 or something like that. And then they were in the St. Louis World's Fair. Well, that means that company's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Right. But when you read up on the company, it wasn't, it didn't say that. It said it was like a 1906 company, which was trippy, right? Like, so my research showed initially that the AJ Tower Company was around from 1904 to the 1930s, and Buckle Boy said the sort of same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the old promotional flyer had said they had success. The Philadelphia Exposition was 1876. Chicago was 1893, and the St. Louis was 1904. And then I later saw that they were involved in a lawsuit in 1930 and also in 1945. So the company's been around. They were around for a long time. Yeah. Right.
But that oiled rain slick, I mean, that fits.
Yeah.
Colorado pioneers traveling west, like, you're in the middle of nowhere, no cover for these storms and stuff like that. It's what they wore out here. The cowboys on horses, and such a cool story. And when we found it, it said Towers wire fasten.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's something electrical.
That's
no, Ken doesn't accept those speculations. He does the research, and all of a sudden it goes down the rabbit hole, and you've got vintage advertisements and pictures of it, and it's awesome.
I thought it was cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to find enjoyment in the little pieces of crap that you find. Right. Yeah. So I found some cool things out there. We walked our butts off all the way out there.
I know. But you know what? We didn't find any dig holes. So that's good news.
That's good news, right?
That is good news.
We actually found a school site. We found a school site.
Oh, yeah.
We went to like 3 or 4 different sites. And what did we find at the school site? Oh my gosh, you guys aren't going to believe it.
The amount of, because Val Kilmer passed away, I have to use a Top Gun movie line reference. It was a target-rich environment.
Yeah.
Remember when Maverick goes into the bar?
Yeah.
Let's just say the school site was a target-rich environment.
It really was. It was definitely a target-rich environment. It was ridiculous, man. We didn't stay there very long at all. And Tony and I love school sites, man. Like, that's one of our favorite places to hunt.
So the school used to sit right at a T intersection where we were at. And apparently that is the hot spot for the last 100 years to step off to the road and shoot your guns over to where the school site was. Because we found about 12,000 pounds of spent cartridges and at least 3 times that in lead. So
you couldn't even pick anything out, not even anything. Every target was,
it was just all lead.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. So we were like, we don't want to stay here. we got other places to look. Oh, that Pony Express out of Strasbourg. Oh, what's up, Brandon?
In Strasbourg, yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out to me, Brandon. I'm interested to hear about that too.
Yeah. Yep. Strasbourg is a place that I haven't hunted. I haven't even looked into it, but I know people have talked about it. Yeah, it's real close to you. Real close to you.
Good sites out there. Old area coming out I-70.
Yeah. They have some old trails out that way and stuff. Yeah, I got out the old trail book here recently. We were looking at some stuff. Seeing I found this place where all these trails kind of came together.
Oh yeah,
at a ranch, an old ranch, and they gave me the name of the ranch, and I'm like, oh man, let me see who the owner is on this plot of land. And man, I'm telling you what, it's like, it's a farming ranch LLC,
right? So
here I'm going to send this out. Go ahead.
We haven't had good luck with getting permission or in touch with owners.
Yeah.
When a piece of land is generally in an LLC, it's usually a large open area leased out for cattle. People don't want, mopes out there searching for stuff and quote hunting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't had very much luck with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Or LLCs or trusts. You know what I mean? Family trusts own it or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, right? This is the question I said at the beginning of the show. I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about this? So this one land company, cattle company, farming company, name has to do with a ranch, right? So let's just call it like Jack's Ranch LLC or something, right? And you look on the ownership map and they own land everywhere. They own land everywhere.
Here.
And on all their properties, there's probably 6 or 7 house sites on it. So real target rich environment for us to go after. But, how do you find out to contact that LLC? Well, I'll tell you, here's my question for you, because I was able to find out about the LLC. And the people that own that and own that ranch and all that property live in my hometown. So going up and knocking on the door is a doable thing for me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like this family, they're real cattle ranchers. They're real ranchers. You know what I mean? They're not just businessmen that own this LLC. Like they get up every day and go out, and they're definitely cowboys and they're definitely ranchers. I was reading all about them. I know a lot about them. I was looking up them, and the older father just passed away not too long ago, but his son, his grandson, great grandson, all those people are still involved with the business, really dedicated to the Western way of life, this whole thing. Right. So I'm trying to figure out how to approach these people. When you look at the address where the main ranch head LLC is at, it is this giant, like $1 trillion home on this private lake. That's where the old man lived. The mother, the matriarch still lives there. She's still alive. And so I'm just like, okay, do you just go up and knock on the door? I mean, they're going to be like, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Like I don't know whether to try to find somebody that knows them and try to do the introduction. Like, what do you guys think? Has anybody got any ideas for me?
This is what I think.
Yeah.
And hear me out.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Relic Jedi. Show some cleavage, 3 buttons down versus 2. All right.
Man.
Beth says, wear your cowboy boots. That's the path I'm going down.
Yeah.
We get
cleavage and cowboy boots.
We get matching chaps.
We go strolling in there on our llamas.
No, matching chaps for our wives. Let them go up and knock on the door.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that would be that's what we need to do. We got to send the wives for sure. Shoot.
Yeah, not up to the matriarch though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I just,
peach cobbler pie.
Yeah. I mean, I want it so bad. It's sort of like, if you send them a letter and you're like, hey, I got something I want to talk to you about. Let's go meet for coffee. They're going to be like, I don't got no time for no coffee. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we're busy here. You know, we're working people and stuff. Now, I read an article where they're like talking about how they've sold oil rights to some of the oil companies. They're drilling all, you know how it is, right? They're drilling on all the land around here. And they're saying that we're making way more with those oil companies than we are with the cattle.
Yeah, sure.
But,
well, you know what, it's what we talk about, right? If you don't have the permission, how are you going to get it? It will always be a no if you don't ask. So,
yeah. Here's some things I'm kicking around, trying to, their neighbor doesn't look like it's much of an impressive type, land and houses they got. So if I go up and knock on their door, more reasonable people, get their permission, get to know them real well, and go, hey, do you know your neighbor? Maybe you can introduce us, If I treat them really well and really get in with them, then maybe they would introduce me to their neighbor and say, oh, hey, you guys own Bob's Ranch properties, don't
Bob
you?
next door?
Oh, my gosh. But they may figure that out and go, you sly coyote right here. You know what we do to coyotes? We shoot coyotes around here.
Yeah, Lurker Troy says they'll take us out to the railroad.
Yeah, they will.
The train station. We don't want to go to the train station.
Yep, we don't. You watched Yellowstone, right? Did you watch?
Yeah.
Have you been watching 1923 at all?
I haven't got on that yet. No, we did 1883. We did Yellowstone up until season 5. Then we jumped over to 1883, finished that, which
that was good, wasn't it? 1883
phenomenal.
Was amazing. Yeah.
I realized I've lost so much. I've had so much awesomeness leak out of my face during that I'm not awesome anymore. I'll just say that. Incredible TV show. Yeah. And we got to do 23 next.
Yeah. All I'll say is 23, you see the induction of the train station.
Oh, okay.
You see where it came from. So that's
there you go.
That's not too big of a spoiler.
No.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to ask permission there, Trying to find somebody in town that knows them.
Right.
Maybe go through like
I think Mark said something
museum.
about that.
Yeah.
Getting someone that knows them, and you got to have a good reputation. A good word means the most to old timer originals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agreed. It's definitely approach to get to know people for sure.
We just connected with a rancher. We have a possible upcoming permission. Actually, we have it verbal and in writing.
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
We haven't never been to yet. We're waiting for the weather to get consistently better because we're going to want to spend some time there. But they're ranchers. They raise cattle and beef.
Yeah, they do.
And maybe they know them. Maybe they know those guys.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Drop that owner a line. Say, hey, do you know Bob Jones that lives
Bob's
over
Ranch?
here? Yeah. They do cattle up there. You know them too? You never know.
Never know.
Word of mouth.
Word
of mouth is a great way to do a lot of business.
Yeah, because they have other property east of them. We're kind of northeast. They're kind of or southeast, and they're kind of east. So I'd be willing to bet they know if they're a big land company that has a lot of cattle. Sure. I bet they know them. Yeah,
there's a lot of good suggestions in the chat. Take one of your sons.
Yep.
Bring some old maps and show the research. I think that's always fantastic. It kind of brings a lot of legitimacy to actually what we're doing in terms of, listen, we do this research, we locate these places, we go out there. We can't do it without your permission because we respect you as landowners. You guys are entitled to anything. We'd love to find something that goes back generations for this land for you and your family. It goes a long, long way.
Yeah. And we do plan on that. Plus, you show them the map. You're showing them exactly where you want to go. Right. You're not going to be wandering their land all over the place. You want to go there, and you want to go there, and you want to go there. And if we can't find it, we're out of there.
Well, and what we learned, Tell them we'll be here for a couple of hours.
Just a couple hours. It's not we'll only be there for a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3. You know. Oh, did we say hours? We meant days. So, we got that mixed up.
Well, you got to use we'll only be here half a day. That's what I tell my wife. How long are you going to be gone? I'll be gone a half a day. Well, that's 12 hours. So,
yeah, that's true, Nick. And matter of fact, when I'm looking at the map, there's other properties right next door that have other home sites on them. But I was targeting this one because they have multiple. Yeah. But it's like, hey, Bob's land manager. Do you know Jim's land manager next to you? Oh, yeah, that guy's name is this. That'd be great if we could get in with him.
Absolutely.
We were talking about TV shows.
Yeah, we can talk about some TV. We can talk more about some TV shows. There's been some good ones lately. Yeah,
there has been. Yep.
Which one do you want to do first?
Oh, let's go that one.
There.
So, yep.
All right. So, those that are out there listening right now, if you guys, we've got 22 listeners. Let us know in the chat, have you guys watched on Netflix American Primeval? Intense. I'm almost done.
Oh, yeah.
Almost done. But it is intense.
We stopped watching because my wife couldn't continue.
It's pretty brutal.
It was too much.
It's
for her.
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, so I knew a little bit about it. Full Metal Digger says awesome show.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, so it is. I think the correct term would be inspired by factual events because I've done a lot of research and I knew some of it beforehand. Mm-hmm. It's inspired, but the details, if you're watching it as a documentary, it's not factually accurate. It's inspired by a lot of fact, but it's very dramatized, up for TV, obviously, very brutal. And I tell you, man, if that's really how things were out here in the West during the 1850s, dude, that's crazy.
I've never thought of it as that brutal. Right. I know it was crazy and it was brutal. Right. And I know rough. Right. I see it more as being tough and rough, like putting you through the ringer. But yeah, they really brutalize it. Like what was that other show, The Remnant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with
Leonardo
DiCaprio. That was a pretty brutal show, and this is probably a little more brutal than that.
My buddy actually did all the drone footage for that movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was another awesome show. But what's it about? So without putting spoilers.
So essentially it is a fixed and I gotta preface this whole thing. Being in Colorado for how long have I been here now? 35 years.
Yeah.
They didn't teach this type of history to us. So back in 1857, there was actually a war, the Mormon War. This is before the Civil War. This was a buildup to the Civil War. They sometimes even call it the pre-Civil War because this had to do with the Mormons that had been kicked out of 2 states. They were then granted area out in the West that hadn't been settled yet and said, go ahead out to the Utah territory and settle out there. You guys do what you need to do. And the show itself was kind of the buildup to the Mormon War. And I had done some research on the Mormon War, but it starts out with a large massacre. And come to find out, that was actually a well-documented massacre that actually occurred that started this whole thing towards moving towards the Mormon War, to where President Buchanan sends out troops to the Utah territory to kind of get a hold of what's going on out in Utah with the Mormons. So this is kind of the massacre and then the build-up to the actual conflict, and it really wasn't a physical conflict with U.S. military, but it was. I mean, it all takes place from 1857 to 1858 out here in the Utah territory. So,
If you want to read about it too, it's
incredible.
a great read.
Yeah.
Learning about that whole thing, because it wasn't a war, but there was a lot of skirmishes. Like the Mormon militia, man, they gave us, the soldiers a lot of grief, man. A lot of grief.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting TV show. I think it's 6 episodes, I think. It's right on there, 4 to 6 episodes. I can't remember. And it kind of, again, like I said, it's inspired by true events. It's very dramatized. It does have Jim Bridger in it. It does have Brigham Young in it. That kind of thing. So it's factually based in a sense, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like if you're looking at it to watch that as a documentary, it's not a documentary. I can attest to that. So, but I used it as really sparking my interest to look further into exactly what was going on out here. And man, there's actually a lot more out there than I thought. And I'm amazed at how much I didn't know and how much they didn't teach us about this conflict in the United States that nobody knows about. That was from 1857 to 1858. So pretty cool.
I knew nothing about it. I mean, you and I had started researching that a while ago.
We did, because we're not
before the show came out.
Far. We're not too far from that area.
Right.
So it has a little bit of interest, but the Mormons had their own currency, own gold currency. Relic Jedi. Yeah. Very, very, very cool pieces, by the way.
Yeah, you guys should look that up. Look up a Beehive Mormon gold
very
coin.
Cool.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Let's see here.
Liquor Troy said some bars have been found around his area. Wow, very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, they were trying to establish their own government, and kind of secede from the U.S. government. And so Buchanan was like, yeah. Isn't it the largest show of force?
Yes. Military
ever put together
west of the Mississippi.
Look at that.
And up to that point as well. I mean, up to that point, it was in the United States. And then, up to that point, correct, because that was before the Civil War. After the Civil War, there was larger ones in the nation, but not west of the Mississippi.
Right. The soldiers basically went there and said, "You got a choice to make: bend the knee or dig a grave."
Right.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Very cool part of history of the United States that I didn't know very much of. I knew enough to be deadly, but now since I started watching that, I've been listening to a lot more podcasts. If you go on YouTube, man, there's a ton of podcasts about the Mountain Meadows Massacre, as well as what they call the Mormon War or the Third Mormon War or the pre-Civil War. If you search for any of that kind of stuff, there are church podcasts. I found a couple different channels that are doing incredible oversight or talking about the entire all that era there. And I'm just amazed at how much I didn't know, how much they don't teach us, how much nobody knows about this stuff. And it's kind of sad, but very interesting. Sad that we don't know about it, because I think everybody should know about our history. So
yeah.
So Primeval,
cool
American Primeval.
Yep. Watch it, but hold on to your shorts. If you like that kind of stuff, man, it's right up. It'll be right up your alley for sure.
It's good,
dark and brutal.
And that, I mean, it kind of is the 1883 kind of idea, settling out from the West and how brutal and open and just, the battles and man, it's a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's shift gears now. Let's go from dark and brutal to something a little less dark and brutal.
I want to ask real quick, Lurker Troy, what area are you in? He said that some gold bars have been found, and I'm just interested in that. So, where are we going to next?
Well, it was a little brutal because I didn't find it, But and you thought it was over when the Forrest Fenn treasure was found.
Right.
It was found in 2020. So that treasure hunt's over. And I thought I was done talking about it. I'd done some videos about Forrest Fenn, but it's back. It's back on Netflix.
What?
They have a really cool documentary, three series documentary called Golden Greed: The Hunt for Fenn's Treasure. It's a documentary, three episode documentary, and it is done pretty well.
I thought it was done very well. Yeah, absolutely. And again, if you guys have watched that, tell us in the chat if you guys have seen that as well.
Yeah.
And I think Detect SD said hashtag cameo. Is that appropriate for this? Why would he be saying that?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Don't be a dog. Come on.
Well, yeah. So back in 2020, when the Forrest Fenn treasure chest was found, I was a searcher. I was a searcher of that treasure. I'd put boots on the ground. I had multiple solves. Never found it, of course, but I was really into it. And
well, never found it as far as we've been told. We've been told somebody found it, but you say that you didn't find it.
I didn't find it. It wasn't me.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, so I used to watch these forums, and Forrest Fenn himself used to post on these forums. And I get this alert on my phone that said, Forrest Fenn just said the treasure has been found on this forums. And since he used to always post on that, I immediately went over to the forums and saw, sure enough, it was him saying the hunt is over. The chest has been found. So I looked at my wife. We were getting ready to go to sleep. And I said, I've got to go live right now on my YouTube channel because this is going to be huge. And it just hit. So I was like, I got to do this now. So I went on my YouTube channel. I did a live stream, and I just started the live stream when I just went, the unfindable has been found. And I just started my whole live stream like that. So, so since that live stream, God, I've gotten all kinds of like attention to that, right? Oh no, that's my very first. Yeah,
that's the first one. That's in the hotel room, didn't you guys? Is that when you were out searching for it?
Yeah. So one of my first boots on the ground trip was to Wyoming. And the thing was that time is that I had figured out the riddle. I'd figured out the solve. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Forrest Fenn wrote a poem. It had 9 clues in it. If you deciphered the 9 clues, it would take you right to the treasure chest. And I had figured it out. I told my wife, I showed my stepson, and they were so convinced, they said, we have to go. So we blew off Easter Sunday with all of our family to go to Wyoming to find this treasure chest. And if you go back and look at that, what was it, 7 years ago? If you go back and look at that video, it's real early on my channel. It gives you my entire solve of why, what the riddles were, where it was at, where I thought it was at, and why I thought it was there. And we went way out there. It was like 8-hour drive. We went way out there
in the car looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, my stepson doesn't look like he's that thrilled right now, but he was really into it, man. He was really into it. So, yeah, so I was really into it. And so when it was found, I went live on this live stream, and after that, I started getting attention for things. Right? Who was a local radio show host?
Yeah,
heard that it had been found. They were watching this live stream of mine, him and his son, and and they just they started like inviting me on the show and all this talk show. And then one day I get contacted by the Today Show, and the Today Show says, hey, we saw your live stream. Would you mind if we use a clip from it? And I'm like, yeah, as long as you give me credit and for like that. Right. And I'm thinking, yeah, it wouldn't be bad to have my YouTube channel's name out there on the Today Show. So they did. They used the clip. They didn't really promote my show very much, but it was kind of down somewhere where no one could see it. But yeah, so when they did this new Netflix documentary, they actually took that clip of the Today Show clip and they used it in the documentary in the Netflix. It's right in the beginning of episode 3. So if you guys want to go over there and look for that, that's my 0.0003 seconds of fame.
It was not that short.
It was pretty short.
It was long enough for you to say
found.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because it's right then. Third episode is when they start getting to that it had been found. So they started with all these news articles and stuff. But if you were a searcher for that, the documentary's done really well. It hits on all the cylinders. If you didn't know anything about the Forrest Fenn treasure, go check it out. Netflix, Gold and Greed. They kind of follow 3 different searchers. They focused on this group of 3 that were kind of had some crazy ideas about it and showed how obsessed people can get about it. They had this guy that was very scientific about it and used facial recognition software to see when
that was awesome.
Fenn's
he wrote
fear programs
went up.
For it. Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
And it put him almost right on top of the treasure chest.
Yeah.
And then the middle one was this lady, Cynthia, and she was like, she was the constant. For years, 8 years, she was looking for it and became real good friends with Forrest. And so they kind of go over there. All the crazies that broke into his house and were threatening him and his family, they go over the entire thing and the 5 people that died looking for it and all that stuff.
Tim, it's on Netflix. Yeah. Look up Gold and Greed.
Yeah. Gold and Greed on Netflix. But cool show. And during the show, what you find out is that one of the main people they show in the beginning was this guy that got all scientific on it. and later, so what they did with the treasure after they found it, they auctioned it all off. So you could actually buy a piece of the treasure. It's all gone now, but matter of fact, a guy here in Denver bought one very recognizable piece and a gold coin. But this one gold breastplate about that big, he bought, and he's still trying to get together with me so I can film it and get together and talk about the hunt. And maybe now we need to go do that. But Justin Posey is one of the main guys that they focused on. He's the one that made the facial recognition software. And he did that. And he was searching New Mexico, and he did that because he wanted to see Forrest's inflection and any kind of fear, nervous facial tics that he had when they would name different places. And he noticed with his software that every time they mentioned the word Yosemite, these ticks and these clues would spark and do all this stuff with his facial recognition software. So he changed his search location to Yosemite, and that's basically where it was found. So
Yellowstone.
Sorry, what did I say? I always say Yosemite. Yeah. I'm from California guy. Yellowstone. So they're focusing on him throughout the series. He's kind of standing there and he's got this backdrop to him. And right at the end of the show, well, he said it at the beginning of the show too. Right at the end of the show, what does he say, Tony?
He says, I've put clues through my interviews here. I've had clues going on because now he's doing his own treasure hunt. They
go, clues for what? And he goes, well, I'm doing a treasure hunt.
Right.
And some of the clues are in my backdrop here.
in the background during the interview of the 3 episodes on Netflix. And
how brilliant is that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Justin actually did a podcast with what was the name
Calazars?
of it? Calazars, yeah, with K-Pro and Calazar. He was on there Monday night, I think.
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday. And so he was telling us a little bit about it. So he's written a book called Beyond what is it called? Beyond the Map's Edge.
Yep.
Right. And he's got a website now, and all of his stuff is here's the actual poem.
He did it as an homage to Forrest because he was a longtime searcher of Forrest. And he's got a few pieces of Forrest's treasure in there, including one of the most recognizable pieces, the dragon bracelet. And a bunch of other nuggets and coins and everything. He didn't say how much it was worth, but even a meteorite, a rare meteorite is in there that he had in there, and all kinds of stuff. So he wrote a book of memoirs. In the book, he's got this poem, but the poem is right here on his website. He said, if you solve this, he's also on X. You can go find him on X, and he posts on there a lot. He appears on podcast, wink, wink, hopefully nudge, nudge. We're going to have him on here.
What?
The podcast he was on Monday, man, he released way too much information.
He gave a lot of information up. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. So if you're into treasure hunts and, here we go again, right?
Another one,
his
right?
website, treasure.quest, www.treasure.quest.
Yep.
That's where you go to kind of get involved in his treasure hunt. And he said, there's hints in the Netflix series. There's hints,
which is like
in his
crazy.
In his book of memoirs. There's hints that tie to his poem and tie to the clues that are in the Netflix series. Tony and I have already seen some things that are glaring. We don't know what they mean yet, but we can see things that look like they're clues. We just don't know what they mean yet. Yeah. They're absolutely clues, but we just don't know what they mean yet. So,
FL Thunder, I think the 8 screens behind them each show a different location if you look at them.
They do. Yep, they do. For sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
No, I was listening to that podcast, and he had said that he had intentionally done his interview in this way. Netflix didn't know about it. The producers didn't know about it, but he also didn't know how many of these clues were going to make it into the actual documentary, because he didn't have any control over that at all. So he said that a very good number of good, high quality clues went into the actual documentary. Some hit the cutting room floor, as he said.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you to kind of pull the wool over the eyes of Netflix and do something underneath their nose.
Yeah, they didn't know it.
They had not a clue with
they
it.
Didn't know it. And after the fact, when they did the editing, now they got to put a big disclaimer that says no one at Netflix knows anything about this hunt. You know what I mean? There was nothing about Posey's plan or anything about this. Doesn't know what the clues are. So don't be calling us, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. You got to go watch. Definitely go watch Golden Greed. And it really, it's not just about. It is about the treasure, but it's also a lot about families. It's a lot about the search, right? It's the journey. It'd be incredible to find the Forrest Fenn treasure worth, millions of dollars and the notoriety and all these different things of you being able to, how many people were searching for it and you were able to solve it. But it also has a lot to do with the journey, where you start, where you end, and what's all in between there, even if you didn't find the treasure.
Right. Yeah. The design from Forrest Fenn was to get people out from their house and get them out in the outdoors. He gave all kinds of warnings. So a lot of people died and a lot of people got hurt. A lot of people had to be rescued, even though he warned everyone. I hit it when I was 80 years old.
Right.
Don't go anywhere an 80-year-old wouldn't go. So people that were rappelling down cliffs or getting in like the Rio Grande fast moving water and everything like that. 80-year-old man's not going to do that. So Justin gave some hints. I go look up cow lasers and cow lazars. You can just spell it cow lasers, and you'll see the live stream they had with him. And like I said, he released a lot of stuff.
He also said he's trying to make it as fair as he could. One thing that Forrest did was he would do different interviews, and you'd have to go and watch all these different interviews to see if he was giving up information, giving clues, giving hints, saying no, yes, to different questions. What Justin's doing is he said, once I'm done here, the questions and answers that I've given, I'm going to update my website with the information that I've given. So to make it fair for everybody, to give a fair chance to everybody, that you don't have to track down 80 different podcasts or interviews that he's done and try to pick out pieces. He's actually going to be putting it up on his website.
Yeah. I don't think it'll take as long to find this one as it did.
I don't think so either. But that guy he's smart as a whip. So
don't think
it's
going to be easy.
No, I don't think it's going to be easy at all, for sure.
Here's how smart this guy is. So he's a searcher of Forrest Fenn's treasure. Forrest Fenn's treasure was in a bronze chest. That's what it was buried in, a Romanian bronze chest. So this guy brilliantly teaches his dog how to sniff out bronze.
Yep.
bronze. Trained him so that he would alert on bronze.
Right.
How
And so if he's
brilliant is
close
that?
enough to the area, you solve it and you're in the right area, you let the dog go and do the dog thing, and the dog's trained to smell and find bronze. And he still didn't find it.
No, in Yellowstone, you weren't allowed to bring your dog out. You know what I mean?
Right. That was one of the things he had said was, because he pretty much thought it was in Yellowstone, and he was like, I can't bring my dog now.
Yeah.
Ah.
So there's already all kinds of guessing going on. All kinds of people are searching for this. I know we got Cindy in our club who's like, will probably be the one that finds it. She's just like super sleuth. I've already been all over it. I know Tony's been all over it. We're already chatting about it. So it's fun, man. We just have fun with it. The Forrest Fenn treasure, it took over many people. So there were so many lawsuits, and there was one in particular that I was very attached to. I used to read all the court transcripts because it was as entertaining as any TV show. I would get these court transcripts. It just was out there, man. It was just out there. This lady was an attorney. She sued the estate after it was found. And here's the gist of her lawsuit. Her solve was in New Mexico. She had it solved. She sent Forrest Fenn her solve. And the next interview he did, he signaled her that she was correct by naming her cat's name in the interview, which I think was Sunshine. Okay. But before she could then go retrieve the treasure chest, somebody broke into her computer and stole her solve and went out and got it. And so she sues and wants the treasure chest. Now, she just didn't do one court appearance and it was over. She did for months and months and months and sued as many people as she could. And Tony, somehow you got involved in that court case.
Yeah. Let's not discuss that.
Yeah. Tony was involved with that court case, man.
I had done a couple videos. I was just trying to be kind of the, breaking news, the news of this, the hot topic and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's public information that she's making this litigation against Forrest Fenn and the treasure and all these different things. And all I was relaying was, here's the court filing. You can link to it here. You can see it here. This is what she's alleging. And she didn't like that very much. So
she didn't. She didn't. And she showed all these examples of how they were disparaging her in the media. And somebody made the list. Somebody made the screenshot.
Oh, I made the list.
Oh, bad boys. What you gonna do? Oh my gosh. Couldn't believe it.
Hey, Dog Tag Doug. Thanks for coming on.
What's up, Dog Tag Doug? How are you, man? Good to see you on here. I don't know if I've seen you on here. Welcome, buddy.
No,
welcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fun, man. You go watch that series and then get the book. And there's like a hardcover book you can buy. There's an electronic version you can download. The poem's right there on his site. You read through his site. He's, like you say, he's putting out clues on his site. We're trying to get him on here, but he's having so much trouble keeping up with the book publication and working with his publisher that he's got to focus on that right now.
Yeah, it says temporarily out of stock over here on Amazon right now. So,
but it's available.
He's working
on his
on
website. It's available from his
you can do the website.
That,
you can see.
He says he hates it that Amazon is saying that because he says publishers are publishing like crazy. So he's trying to get Amazon to reverse that, but I guess that's like pulling dog hair, getting bit. So.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. New treasure hunt.
Another treasure hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
And it feels like it's out our direction.
Yeah, let's hope.
Maybe.
Hope it's not in Alaska. Who knows? It might be in Alaska.
I know there was some talk in the chat about Alaska.
Yeah, there was.
So
it's fun to try to figure that stuff out for sure. But like the Forrest Fenn treasure was, people can get in their head that their solve is it, and they can fixate on it. They show a family that fixated on a one of their solutions, so much so that they spent 2 years trying to remove this boulder.
digging underneath it, blowing it up, moving it, like 2 years.
They were fixated on it. They just knew. And when that didn't work out, the very next solve, they knew it was the solve. They just knew it, and it just gets that way. I never was that fixated on it. I always knew that my solve could be wrong, but it was fun to go put boots on the ground and try to speculate where it was at, You
know what, though? You got to spend time with your family. You actually got a pretty cool story of you guys out there searching. But that's what Forrest wanted, right?
Yeah,
so
it's exactly what he
was successful, and you have life experience now.
My wife will never forget that. My stepson will never forget it, because we went there on Easter Sunday. And so on Easter, there was nothing open on Easter except for a Japanese steakhouse. So on Easter Sunday, we were there having like hibachi, kitchen dinner, hibachi grill dinner. It reminded me of Christmas Story. No, what was the Christmas Story?
Yeah, Christmas Story. Yeah, the Chinese restaurant with the duck.
That's what it reminded me of. So we have all those memories of it, right? We got scared, like that we were in grizzly country because we were deep in Wyoming, way up north, and we were in grizzly country. And so we had a big furry brown animal jump out at us. It was a mama moose who was laying down, and she jumped out and disturbed the brush, came towards us, and then hightailed it out of there. But all I saw was that fur and the massiveness of it, and it made me get more gray hair than I already had. My stepson was just like terrified. He's like, "Oh,
what's up with us and moose?"
I don't know, man.
You'd think it would be elk or deer or pronghorn or coyotes but moose. I
don't know, man.
We've crazy, huh?
Yeah, I've had an experience. You've had an experience. We both had an experience together. Good thing it was a bull moose,
right?
Because it was pretty passive. But I don't know what it is about moose, man.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You want to go here or here?
Let's go top one first. Tony and I share a Google Docs page, so we put down ideas and stuff we want to talk about. So go ahead. I'll let you take this one.
We've had on Garrett Susser, our buddies, Zach Metzger and Garrett Susser, our buddies over in Kansas. We've had them on a couple times. We've done, they've been on Are You Smarter Than a Relic Hunter? We talk to them quite a bit. They're in the chat sometimes, and there are a lot on, social media and things like that. Anyways, Garrett got invited to actually speak next Saturday over at, in Lyman, over at the Heritage Society in Lyman. And he's going to be talking about the Smoky Hill Trail. So I just want to give a shout out to Garrett, if he's listening or watching this on the replay, but he's going to be giving a great presentation over on the Smoky Hill Trail. I'm going to be going to it for sure, taking notes. I'm going to record it. I'm going to analyze his facial tics and telling me where all the good sites are on the Smoky Hill Trail.
Hey, stop right there. I am not a clue in the Netflix series. I'm just telling you right now, so you don't start bugging me. And my facial expression, I am not a clue. Okay.
People are already talking here. They need your autograph. I mean, this is a big deal, man. Jesus. This is a big deal.
I didn't mean to hijack that again, because it is a big deal with Garrett doing this presentation. When it comes to the Smoky Hill Trail, Mr. History Teacher and Teacher of the Year with the California Oregon Trails Association last year.
Yep, he won that, and
he's a big deal.
We were able to go and support him over there up in Wyoming for that, and this year he's going to be out next week over in Lyman, and I'm gonna go out and visit with him. Are you going to make it?
I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to make it.
So supporting the community. He's given a great presentation. And this is the kind of things that we get a lot of interest, a lot of messages of, how do you guys get on sites? What are you researching? Where are you going? And what are you concentrating on? To be honest, this is the stuff. I mean, there's not a lot of history out here in Colorado per se. There is history, but it's just not as prevalent because of when we were established and stuff. But things that, if you look at the history of the United States, traveling east, right? Where did they go? You want to be where people were. in the 1840s, 1850s. I mean, you can go back to 1830s here a little bit. There were some forts out here, but 1850s, 1860s, they start moving all to the west here. And where are they going to be at? They're going to be on trails. So you got to do the research on the trails. You're going to find the stagecoach sites. Who was talking about it? I forgot the name earlier. Talking about being out in Strasbourg with the stagecoach stop or Pony Express stop, like those kind of different things. Where were people when they were traveling? So do the research on the Smoky Hill Trail. Locate the different stops, people stops, right? Lots of interaction, getting up and down wagons, dropping stuff. We have been on some really good stagecoach stops. But that's the kind of history that we have out here in Colorado, and Garrett's going to be out there talking about it. So I'm really psyched to not only get to see my buddy, our buddy from Kansas, but also maybe make some more contacts out to the east of us, who have the same interest in the Smoky Hill Trail and Lyman Historical Society. Like a lot of stuff came through Lyman. A lot of stuff came through Lyman up through Strasbourg. That's the kind of stuff that you have to look at least for us out here. Where stuff isn't exactly as documented as it would be, per se, like back east with different battles and wars and independence and all that kind of stuff. So, that's coming up next week. I'm really excited to get to do that. I'm probably going to try to record it if I can, put it up on the channel. So people that do support us in the Colorado area will have some information about the Smoky Hill Trail, and hopefully that sparks some more interest for people to do more research. But if you are doing research on the Smoky Hill Trail, stay off of it. We're going to hunt it all. There's nothing left to be found on it. So,
yeah, I know it's pretty much hunted out. That in Ohio, pretty much done.
Those two. Yep. So, yeah.
We talk about like how do we get permissions and that word of mouth and like we talked about earlier, like going and meeting some local farmers that might know the farmer I'm trying to get in with. You know what I mean? Working that networking, going down to a local coffee shop where all the old farmers hang out at and getting to know some of them and just networking. It's all networking, and, but there's another technique that I've used over the years, to some success. I will say to some success. There's nothing better than getting out and going face to face and meeting.
Ooh.
People. Yeah, there's just nothing better than that. But there's other things you can do. We talked about it before. I call it Facebook fishing. Okay. Most towns have some kind of Facebook group. If you're not familiar with Facebook, go ahead. Yep.
I was going to say like a community page.
Yeah, community page.
Of the town that they live in. It's stuff that's going on in their communities.
Yep.
Hey, I saw a cow over here at County Road such and such. Whose is it?
Whose dog is this?
Right.
And then sometimes they have like sale page where if you're going to sell something, you only put stuff you're going to sell on this one page or whatever. But most towns have a group, and if you become a member of that group, you could either reach out to the admin to see if it'll be okay, or you could just go for it and post something. People seem really interested in it. So a lot of people have liked my posts. I went ahead and posted it to like 3 different groups. One had like 58,000 members. The other one had 38,000 members. So, you're getting some eyes on it and stuff. You're able to canvas a large area. So what I thought what I do is read you my post. So for those listening on the replay, you can listen back to this, and it's quite long actually. So I'll just tell you what I put. I put a picture of a metal detectorist, and then I wrote the following. Okay. Hello neighbors. My name is Ken, and I'm a 25-year resident of Northern Colorado, currently residing in blah, blah, blah town. I'm really into history and love the story of our town and the surrounding areas. One of my hobbies is finding old relics of our past using a metal detector. You'd be surprised at some of the things I find, and those tied to our personal history are my favorite. I'm looking for some permissions to come metal detect on your property. I'm looking for properties built from 1910 and earlier, or fields land that have had home sites or activities since the early days. If you have such a property or know someone that does and would consider letting me come detect, leave me a comment below or email me privately at blah, blah, blah.com, and I will get back to you to introduce myself further. All items found from your property will be shown to you, and if you see anything you would like to keep, you're welcome to have it. Respect and care of your property is of utmost importance to me, and I utilize leave no trace techniques. I could even bring an extra detector if you would like to detect with me on your property. It's fun and exciting, and you never know what you might find. I also offer my services if you have lost a ring, jewelry, or any other type of metallic item and would like help trying to recover it. Thank you all for reading, Ken. And I post this, and what happened recently? Like, we got
and then it started.
And then it started. Yeah. So a lot of stuff, we got quite a few hits. I'll call it hits, and people really responded favorably. And I think right now we're going to probably pull 5 or 6 permissions, new permissions off of that. So, it can't hurt. You're basically being polite and putting it out there and fishing. And if somebody knows that, or a neighbor or something like that, like one of the responses was, "Hey, my mom has this house. You're welcome to come. It was built in this day, blah, blah, blah. And our next door neighbor has the original schoolhouse. And I'm sure she would be able to let you come too. She's really cool, really nice.
Word
lady.
of mouth now.
Yeah. So now, that's 2 permissions we got, including an old schoolhouse. So we've got permissions from a railroad station. We got permissions from a huge piece of land that had a trail running through it. And it's great. And so what you can do with that is, let's say you have a town that you want to target, an old town that has nothing but old houses that would be great and have stuff in. See if they have a Facebook group. Go in respectfully, go in, "Hey, I'm your neighbor just in the town next to you, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I do. Here's what I'm looking for." People love the idea of it being exciting. Of like 2 or 3 of them were like, "I'd love to come with you. I got this old detector that my grandfather gave me. It looks like a piece of crap and I don't know how it works, but I'm sure you could show me." And I've been like, responding to him. Yeah. And if it doesn't, I've got plenty I can bring and show you out and show you what's up, So,
I wanted to say Dog Tag Doug says face-to-face is the only way, in my opinion. And 100% agree with that. There's nothing better than going face-to-face.
Yep.
But I think with this one, it's more of the shotgun approach. And work smarter, not harder. Use some social media to our advantage. And the worst thing that can happen is you don't get any hits on it, right?
Right.
I'm sure you have this saved on as a Word doc somewhere where you can cut and paste it into multiple, town sites on Facebook.
Yeah.
And what's it going to honestly hurt? It kind of gets your name out there. You're showing very, much professionalism.
Yeah.
And even if you get one, hey, 1 can turn into 2, can turn into 4, can turn into 8. Yeah. So I think it's great.
Yeah, we have our own places that we're targeting, and we're going up knocking on doors, and we're the places we know about that we're focusing in on. What this does is it may introduce to some other stuff that maybe you just weren't ready to concentrate on or whatever. Like one of the properties that responded to us, like, I'm going to forsake something else that I had already been focusing on going and getting because it's such a good property, and had I not done this, I wouldn't have never probably known about it, because it's in a town that I haven't targeted yet, even a town actually that I hadn't heard of because the town's no longer there. But so it can't hurt, but it does not replace knocking on doors and getting in front of it at all,
Yep. Doug also says it doesn't hurt to join a local historical society and advertise yourself as such when speaking to your prospective property owners. Again, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100% on that.
Yep, I definitely dropped that. I'm tied in with the city history museum here and the state history museum, and also the Colorado Archaeological Society, and a leader of the HART team. We've talked about the HART team here, Historical Artifact Recovery Team. I will drop that whenever I can. You're right. It just gives you some legitimacy. It's not like I'm just this dirty money. What does Tim say? Dirty money
lovers.
Dirty money lovers.
I don't know what he said.
That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. I'm getting involved more with some historical societies down here.
Yeah.
So branch out, talk to the people that have the same interest ish in the same area there. And man, it can really open up a lot. It
Yep.
really can. In fact, I'm going over to another speaker, I think next Thursday. It's gonna be a busy week next week. And or is it tomorrow? I don't know when the heck it is. Maybe it's next week. I had to check the calendar. But anyways, same idea. This guy actually found who's done some things in the areas that I'm trying to target and search. And I all of a sudden found that he's doing a presentation way up north, actually near you. And I'm like, I'm going to go bend this guy's ear. I've got his book. I'm going to talk to him about his book and see, networking. What can I do? I think he's kind of graduated up to an age where he's maybe not going out in the field as much. And he's more of the historical written documentation side of things. Well, hey, I'm no spring chicken, but I can at least still get out in the field. So hook me up with some people that and all that kind of stuff. It's about networking.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Doug was talking about, Dog Tech Doug was talking about,
yeah,
knocking on doors, getting permission. I don't know how him and his whole group does it. Quarter Hoarder and that whole group, like, hi, can we bring 10 people on your property to dig? Hi, can I get permission for me and 10 of my people to come out and film and dig and all that stuff? I think they're getting so popular now that a lot of people probably in the area know of them. And so it's sort of like an honor to get those people out there.
But Tom Asham does the same thing. You have a resume that you can share when you go up, hey, can I dig a big, huge hole in your yard? I'm looking for bottles and privies, from 150 years ago. Oh, by the way, I've dug 1,600 of them. Oh, geez. You kind of know what you're doing. Sure. Go ahead. Same idea,
That's the first time I've heard that one, 5 Mile.
Did you knock on the
How did that happen? Yeah.
Were you out of paper? And I mean, how did the conversation start on that one?
Did he write his number on a sleeve and push it under the thing? I don't know, man. That's funny. We should have a show about that one time. Funniest way you've ever gotten a permission, or craziest way you've ever gotten a permission. Yeah, man.
Want to say hi to Robert Thompson over in Nebraska. How's it going?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Go back and listen to the show, Robert. We've had a good time tonight with a bunch of different topics. So
yeah. There's been some good comments. I've been going back and reading.
Yeah, there is. I'm looking through them here. This is a good one here. Yep. E-Tector, when you get a permission and you are also searching, or you are also teaching the landowner how to detect, how do you keep focused to do a thorough job of the search area?
You give them a bad detector.
Yeah.
Go over there. We did that. Wasn't we last time we did that? It's tough, right? Because every beep, they're like, oh,
right.
Like the last show we did, we were talking about our TV show we did with Mel B and the group from the UK. And it was the same thing. Like Tony and I wanted to go detect. And it's like every little beep, like, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to sit here with them.
Well, that was in the show. She's going over it and he's like 46, 93, 20, 70, 71, 20, 21. What do you think? I'm like, I think it's iron. I think we should go on to the next one.
Yeah. I don't think we should take that one. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And they, if you're just teaching them how to do it, but sometimes you got to do that. You know what I mean? Be like, oh yeah, let me come back and then we'll hit it hard. And, sorry you didn't find anything today, but if we come back, we'll hit it again. Because usually what happens is once they put in all that effort and they don't find anything, they're pretty much done with detecting it.
Right.
A lot of times they're just like, oh man, I didn't.
Why don't you have at it? You really know what you're looking for. So,
yeah.
But they got out and did it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. They got that excitement. And who knows, maybe, they're like, oh, I got to do this more so I know what I'm doing,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there's one comment that we've got here. You want to talk about that and we'll get kind of closing things out. We want to
go for it.
Want to just say this was, probably about 45 minutes ago, 5 Mile Relic Hunter find guys, an awesome find at the Show Me Hunt Bullseye Canteen. I watched it and it was awesome.
Wow.
So we just wanted to make sure we had started that. to make sure that we acknowledged that was an incredible find, and huge congrats to you. That's a fantastic relic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool when you find really cool relics like that, that are so unique and not everyone finds them all the time.
Right.
I was trying to pull up a picture of it. Yeah. Just old, man. Very cool. Where was he at? The Show Me?
The Show Me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, were they blown away? I bet they were. I bet they were like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Something like that to be found in their hunt. So you're not going to find that at Rush to the Rockies. I'll tell you that right now. But Rush to the Rockies at May 30th through June 1st.
Oh, man.
Here in Colorado. You got to come out and see us at our National Open Hunt. What you're going to find is you're going to find a lot of silver. You're going to find tokens. You're going to find a lot of other relics from Native American to all kinds of different things that you can take home. It's going to be a great time. A lot of good camaraderie going on here. We've got practice fields. We've got all kinds of stuff. Great sponsorship. Nocta's stepped up. We got Garrett in the mix. We're going to have Mind Lab in the mix. They all support these hunts. So make sure you come on out. Tony posted the link in the chat. We'll talk about it more on our next Relics Radio. We got some good guests coming up and telling you about. We have a lady that's going to blow you away coming up pretty soon. She's going to talk all about grading coins.
Yes.
And you're just going to have to sit down, buckle in, because she is an energetic speaker and has a lot of energy, a lot of information to share.
Well, so just the passion for that. Like, we've got passion for certain things in life, and you get along with people that have that same passion. Her passion is so incredible. I wouldn't say overwhelming. She's incredible, and I can't wait to have her on. We're gonna do some fun stuff with that to maybe get people to send us some examples of coins that they have, so that we can show her and kind of do an on the spot. Hey, what ish would you grade this at? So I think it's gonna be a great time. We had her out at our Eureka Treasure Hunting Club meeting, and I think everybody was blown away. And we jumped up after she was done and pulled her aside and said, "You're coming on the podcast." So, because we just were like, "This is awesome, absolutely awesome." The information that she can pass on was invaluable. So we were like, we need to pass this on to our bunch of supporters here and spread that for sure.
We need to plan it, because the problem with her is that we won't make it in an hour and a half. We just won't make it unless we keep her on task. I mean, there's she's going to show you how to kind of photo grade that you can do on a websites and stuff. You can do some of that. I know a lot of you probably know about that already, but some of you might not, and she'll do some of that. I'll see if you send us examples. She does a really good job.
She's
awesome. Who do we got coming up next week? We got Casey with Excalibur Shovels coming on next week. Next Wednesday night. So make sure you tune into that. He's always a good guest. Got some great shovels. Big supporter of Rush to the Rockies. So we definitely want to have him on and do a good show for you next week.
Awesome.
With him. Yeah.
Yep.
But hey, let's get out of here, man. It's late Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Appreciate all the support here. If you guys are interested in seeing what I'm doing, check out 5280 Adventures on all of your social media. There was a question earlier, I think from Il Digger, was bringing up some of the shorts that I put out, and guys, check in on those. They're pretty fun. They're pretty funny. Kind of keep some humor in the community, and kind of people enjoy it. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over. So 5280 Adventures, check me out.
Yeah,
cool, man.
If you want to know anything about me, just watch Netflix.
Wait a minute. I ducked out and it came up all big. It was just you. I'm gonna clip that right there. I'm gonna clip that right there. That's awesome.
Just watch Netflix, man. You can find out.
Just watch. I'm on Netflix. Just put in DK in Netflix, and
you'll find me. Yep. I'm the star. I'm the star of the show. Jeez. No, everyone have yourself a great weekend. Find me at Adventures in Dirt anywhere on social media. Have yourself a great weekend. If you go find some great stuff, tell me about it. We love seeing it. We love showing it. We love hearing about it. Good luck to everyone. Stay safe. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.